I'm Scott Holmes. I'm the pilot of Outlaw here, and we thought we'd give you a quick update on the airplane, all the other airplanes around here, and a hangar tour as well. So as you can see, the cowling is off. It's pretty much ready to go for the season. However, we rewired the whole airplane, replumbed it a little bit as well, and ran the panel with it bare aluminum for a while and decided it works good enough. Let's go powder coat it. So that's what we're waiting on. So if you come around, you can see how messy the inside of the airplane is. So we've got everything out. We showed you a video, or the last video showed you with the panel in, obviously bare aluminum. Now we've got everything out temporarily while the panel gets powder coated. But that's basically how a casset works, and you can very clearly see the wing attachment hardware. So it's got these big aluminum plates here that hold the wing on. You can see the spar in there, and other than that, there's not much else in a casset. Obviously the fuel tank's right ahead. So that's the airplane. We've showed you the rest of it already, so let's go for a walk. So this is a Cessna. It's owned by a Top Fuel dragster driver and owner. I think he owns a couple dragsters now. Came out of the trucking business recently. I think his name's Mickey. He's a nice guy. So it's fairly pretty, fairly new as well. This is the kit box we just bought. So it's a 5. I'm in it with Calvin Mitchell. He's another engineer, and he's a new student. So we got this airplane for him to learn on, and it was an opportunity for me to enter into a 2-seat airplane partnership as well. So actually there's there's fuel in the wings here. Reference maybe Trent Palmer's videos if you want to see how a kit fox works. But there's drains under here, and one of the drains on the other side started leaking. I made this huge mess, leaked all this blue avgas all over the ground over here, which we got cleaned up finally. But we had to drain the tank out. And to drain the tank out, to drain both tanks. So that's why we hung this thing here, just to plug the hole for a while. So as soon as the new drain shows up, then we'll be flying again. But so we're down for a little bit. There's big plans for this airplane. We're putting new doors on right away. We're going to go full plexi all the way down. The big bubble doors, like how kit foxes work. And probably not much else this season. Next season we're probably putting big tires on it and bush gear and that kind of thing. I can't land this airplane for the life of me. Bounce every time. It's impossible not to bounce. So we're going to put the shock monsters on and solve that problem. Anyways, that's that. Lycoming in it. So big engine, nice big whirlwind prop. She flies good, handles well. So it's a fun airplane. It's terribly slow, like torturously slow, compared to the Casset at least, but it's a really good training airplane, especially a good tail wheel. Anyways, coming around. So for those of you wondering, we call this the Energy Efficient Homes Hangar because that's who built it. Eldon Jesdell is the owner of both this hangar and the next hangar that you're about to see. So we all rent space from Eldon. It's his company. He builds them. This is what he does for a living. You can see how nicely it's built, and he takes very good care of us. This is a 340. Eldon's in another business that buys and sells airplanes. So this is a 340 for sale right now. And I know very little about Cessnas, especially multi-engine airplanes, but it's pretty. And I think it would be kind of fun to fly. This airplane's got really short, stubby wings and has kind of a cool look to it. I think it'd be fun to try once or twice. But yeah, so it's only here temporarily. I don't know when it's going to sell, but it's pretty to look at for sure. Upstairs now. Actually, let's go for Pooter. So you're probably wondering what's going on with Pooter. You probably haven't heard much through social media or anything. Robert Austin bought it. Here it is, kind of parked here in the back in the workshop area. It doesn't really take up any space with the wing off. So the fabric's in good shape. Robert took it down and did some really good refreshment work to it when he first bought it. So he's got a new floor in it, as you can see here. He's putting rudder pedal extensions in it. So to do that, you just put there's a strap of steel that goes in right in between the cable and the rudder pedal itself. So he's doing that. He's done some basic panel work. The floor is the most obvious thing, I think. He also had in the back of these magnetos here, one of the wires are actually screwed in, and that's the only thing that holds them in. One of the wires fell out, so he's got that fixed now. He also did an oil change. What else did he do? He wrapped this. It's actually kind of a good idea. We have to run these safety cables for Reno because if the propeller throws a blade, then you actually lose the engine out of the airplane as well. It actually breaks them out. So it'll hold it on and keep your CG good enough that you can zoom off the course and bail out, or try and land, whatever you decide. We have to run these safety cables. So the problem though is if you put the bare safety cable on, which is what most people do, they chafe really bad on the case, and the cases are expensive. So Robert here has had this good idea to wrap it with this Teflon, and so it looks really nice, and it seems to be preventing the chafing. I like it. He's also working on the prop. It came with a Twisted Composites race prop, but the problem is they fail really easily. You can't really sport fly them. They resonate internally, and the epoxy heats up and melts, and it causes damage that's not catastrophic but not repairable either. So he's ordered a new prop. It's on the way. I think it's probably another month or two delivery. And he's working on the extension and the crush plate and everything to make sure that the rotating components are done right, especially at the RPM that he's going to run. It's very important that all the bolts are the right length, the right torque, and there's nothing in it that's going to cause reliability issues. So that's kind of the update on Pooter. I think all that he's got, actually, what does he have left? He's got to put the prop back on. He's got new seat belts to install, I think. And that's about it, I think. He's pretty much ready to fly. So we'll have another race pilot shortly. So that'll be nice. The wing he actually cleaned up really nice. It was covered in oil, absolutely covered. So he's got it polished up perfectly now, and the gallon of oil that was all over it and soot on the bottom is now gone. So it's looking much better. We've been building these wing stands. This is Robert's rendition of it. To hold the wings vertically with casters on the bottom, and that way we can roll the wings around in the hangar, and then keeping them vertically, they don't take up any space. So I've got one as well, and so far, man, I love it. So that's pretty much the actually, let's go upstairs next. Didn't take you upstairs yet. So we also have a mezzanine in this hangar. And this hangar is less finished, obviously. So up here we have two offices, kind of an old crappy paper airplane, it looks like. A bathroom back there, a fridge, and some unfinished kitchen furniture. We also have some office furniture, which is kind of interesting. And the best part of all is, I think if you want to stay here, we have a bed. So if you need to crash at the hangar or you break down or something, I can help you out. And then the last thing, we use this spot to hide the Kitfox new doors. So those are the new bubble doors that we're going to put in the frames. Just keep them up here to keep them from getting all scratched up. Anyways, that's the first energy efficient homes hangar. The next one is the one that we use for events and functions and everything. And so let's head over there right now. Welcome to the new hangar. So here is where we do all of our functions. It's a little bit newer than the other one. Turn the lights on. There she is. So this hangar, it's got, well, everything about it's new, but the biggest change is the walls are covered in metal cladding instead of drywall like the other hangar is. We keep some of the other unique airplanes here. So we've got some basic Cessnas and Cherokees and that kind of thing in here. We also have Shane Getson's Cub, and this is just a J3. I think it's a 46 J3 from what I know. I think it's a C85 as well, engine on it with big tires, obviously. So it's kind of a cool airplane. I've actually never seen it fly, but I'd love to try it one day if we can ever make that work. But it's actually really clean on the inside. The paint doesn't have all the filler in the fabric that some planes have, so it's not really glossy, but apparently that keeps it light. I'm not a fabric expert. It's got a little generator on the bottom there, so starter, and I think it's a good airplane. This here is probably one of the nicest airplanes that I've seen in a while. This is Eldon's Mooney. And so he's getting some engine work done to it right now, which is why he's got the cylinders off. I think he's getting new cylinders put on it right away. But this is actually a really old airplane. I think it's from the 70s. But everything about it is like new, brand new. So all of the gauges inside are all modern. He's got it full electronic as you can go. It's sweet. Fast. All the bells and whistles. So we have to go do some formation flying in it right away and get him some photos. So that's that. On the wall, we brought home some banners from China. So they had all these big air show banners all over the place. We took a couple home. That's my airplane on the bottom left there. So we have tons of fun, and it actually adds to the hangar environment actually quite nicely. I think if we had enough banners, it probably wouldn't echo so bad either. Over here, we've gone past the Cub. Way over here, though, we have parts of a Mooney. So Eldon was able to pick up a Mooney that had frame corrosion damage. So on Moonies, how they work is, this is the tail cone. On the front around the cockpit is all chromoly tubing. And so they've got an AD involved. Actually, I wonder if there are any parts. Probably not. But some of these components in here, they get really rusty. And then if the fuselage is rusted too bad, the airplane is pretty much just for parts. So Eldon's got it all stripped down. You can see some of the rust on some of these steel parts here. The frame actually had holes in it in the fuselage structure. So it's only good for parts. So if you need a tail cone or a wing, we've got them here, and I know Eldon's got them for sale, and apparently they're in good condition. So that's kind of the Mooney that we're parting out. Behind that, we've got an aircraft lift, which we haven't put up yet, and I'll take you upstairs. So up here is where for air shows and stuff, this is where the snowbirds have their briefs and debriefs, and this is kind of the more secluded part of the hangar. So up here we do meetings with Transport Canada, that kind of thing. We also come up here just to hang out. You can see all it's all finished and decorated nicely. It's got this nice big meeting room set up here. It's a little bit messy right now. We've been doing some work up here, but this is the big hangout area. So it's got these great couches. So we could hang out, sleep, have naps, whatever we want to do. We've got full kitchen facilities here, so we can keep our lunch here or whatever, if we're here for the day. We've got full coffee machines over there, so if you want a coffee, we've got the full capability, and Keurigs and whatever you need, we've got it. So it's well done. I'll show you the back here. So we've got the man himself's office, Eldon's office right there. Nothing too special to it. We've got freshly finished bathrooms, as you can see. And so they're brand new, as nice as you can get. Nicer than my condo at home. So we're well taken care of here. We've got great views of downstairs if you want to come up here and hang out and supervise, if you've got people working on your gear. So it's fun.
There's a nice audio system there too, hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, so Ellen does the audio equipment for Skate Canada and Oshkosh. And so I think there's an arena of 20,000 somewhere, but they were upgrading their audio system, and so Eldon was able to acquire the old one. He hung it in his hangar so we can have full dance parties here now. It sounds amazing. I think it's way oversized for the size of this hangar, but it just because of the oversize, it sounds perfect. So anyways, that's the facility up here. He's got some pictures on the wall of his kids, his grandkids, some aviation adventures he's been on. So he's been everywhere. He does the sound system for Oshkosh as well. So Brian and I are going to Oshkosh in a month and a half or so. Eldon will be there as well. So we'll go hang out down there, have some fun. This is the outside. So there's all the contact information for Aircraft Canada. So if you're looking to buy an airplane, there's several airplanes parked in the area for sale through Aircraft Canada. Go ahead and give them a call or send them an email. So they're really good to us. So thanks for watching.